All right. Good morning. Good morning. I hope everybody can hear me. Hope I'm coming through clear. We have a pretty exciting one today. I'm just waiting on the team to join another partnership, which is actually pretty exciting, especially for all the youth heads. So we'll get into it. I'm just waiting for them to join. Should be any minute. And they may even be in here. Okay. All right. When you get in, just request to speak and I'll get you up here. But just to give everyone a quick rundown on what we're going through. So Apex is an exchange that allows people to deposit with EVM. I'll actually let them explain it because they'll probably do a better job of it. But a little background on us for those that don't know. We're a generative music AI. We're the only AI that fuses music as well as blockchain, which gives people the ability to create music from a few words, mint their song, have provenance, own the intellectual property, and it's completely free to use. And we're hitting all-time highs today, which is in priced in Sol, which is pretty exciting, being that we are on Sol. So that's great stuff there. And everyone that's holding, I'm very happy for you guys. It looks like the team is joining now, so great. I'm assuming Aaron's on that team. But yeah, no, it's been an exciting last 72 hours, I think, for both sides. And it's just great to be, starting to kind of cut through some of the noise that's been in the space and give ourselves the ability to kind of distance ourselves from a lot of the stigma that I think's been attached to AI agents, because our project is very much an AI project, and the price action is by no means an accident. We're doing really incredible stuff. I urge anybody that hasn't tried the AI yet to go to suedeai.org, and that's going to be the informational site, and try it out. Go on, it's completely free. There's a small token gate, but use the AI. You can create 100 songs at no cost, as specific as you want, your name in it, your friend's name in it, whatever you want it to be about, you can have it, and then you own it. So if you're a content creator, you can not have to worry about copyright strikes. You have complete provenance and IP rights. So, that's really great stuff. So try it out. And I think Aaron, I'm assuming, is from the Apex team that's going to come up here. So I will go ahead and give you an invite. Hopefully it's the right person. I imagine it is. Okay. And yes, today does involve Red Lambo. So go ahead and give it a like, retweet the room. Okay, Aaron is up here. Boom. Okay. All right, Aaron, can you hear me?
Hello, yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I sure can.
How are you doing?
Great, great. How about yourself?
Very good, yeah, very good. Obviously,
Good.
markets are not exactly the best right now, but
Yeah.
I think always some interesting price action. We're not going to turn our noses down.
Yeah. No, for sure, for sure. And fortunately, for Suede holders, we've weathered this storm pretty well. But yeah, by no means are we immune to macro moves, but I think we're through the worst of it. Not financial advice, we'll find out. But did you want to get into it now?
Sure, yeah, fire away.
All right. So I did give a little outline, just kind of what we do. Music generation on the blockchain. It's been something that's been conceived of for a long time, and the technology has finally made it able to happen. So I've urged everyone to go on the website, make a song about whatever you want. You own it. It will sound studio grade. The songs I have streaming on radio to the X site, so anyone can hear it. Those are all made by AI Suede in the matter of 2 to 3 minutes, and it's made by a bunch of different users who are credited in the stream. So I recommend everybody give it a try. But I did want to, most of the crowd here is familiar with Suede, so I wanted you to kind of give a rundown of what's unique about Apex because it is a DEX, which is great because we're all about, self-sovereignty in here. But what makes Apex unique from other DEXs like Radium or aggregators like Jupiter?
Sure. So, I mean, our main thing is will be the pairs, will be multi-chain, of course, compared to things like Jupiter. So, for us, I think right now, in terms of trading on the platform, one of the biggest advantages is the airdrop, but we can get into that later because that's more of a bonus. Um, but I think one of the particular things in terms of like, let's say, tech or things from the more infrastructure side that are different. One is going to be the way that you deposit on a platform. So, of course, the idea of using DEXs in general is having self sovereignty over your own funds, having self custody, and not relying on that centralized entity. And the way we use both ZK links for um, doing the transactions, which is making them faster, making them cheaper, making them more secure. Um, in combined with the way that we have the deposit system is really something for me when I joined Apex, I was really kind of brought towards. So without kind of going into too much of the technical detail, and some of it also, even from not being a dev, is sometimes over my head with how with how advanced the dev team is with their tech stacks. But you can think of it kind of like an escrow account, or that's at least how I think of it. So when you deposit on Apex, that's always the question is, well, on one of these decentralized platforms, if I'm depositing, surely someone is in charge of the money, right? Surely I'm giving up sovereignty of that money at some point in the chain. But what's really good is when you're trading on Apex, you're basically depositing your funds into the smart contract, which is working as an escrow in effect, to then be able to trade on the platform whilst you're maintaining um, ownership of your funds. So let's say in, God forbid, touch wood, worst case scenario, you have something like Apex disappears tomorrow off the face of the earth, and you had $10,000, $15,000 deposit on the platform. That would actually be no problem for you because you just force withdraw your funds straight back to your wallet, whether or not you log on to Apex ever again. So for me, that was one of the most exciting things. And yeah, I think either Mariam or Hamza is here as well on the Apex main profile. So maybe they want to come up as speaker as well and have some things that they want to share.
Okay, great. Yeah, if they just want to request, but that's a great overview. And yeah, what I find really great about Apex is it kind of bridges the gap. It's a DEX that you can keep custody of your funds, but also you can get into the Solana ecosystem using a number of EVM chains. So, if you have MetaMask, you can jump on and you can start buying Suede and start trading on Solana using funds from EVM. And surprisingly, that's something that really hasn't been implemented as well as Apex has been able to. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, exactly. You bring up a good point, especially on the spot side of things. So um, again, if you're trading, you want to trade with a contract address, right? Let's say it's meme coins, let's say it's utility coins, let's say it's anything that's not available on perps. A lot of the platforms are either a lot of platforms typically are isolated between, let's say, ETH or Base or Solana or BNB. And let's say if you're using a trading bot to get the best entries, to get the best, um, tools, then the problem with that is that you're swapping constantly. You're on Bullex if you're on Photo, you're using this for ETH, you're using that for BNB. The best thing about, and not only that, but then you need to cross bridge, you need to have different amounts of funds, you need to have different types of wallets. It's kind of a pain. So that's why you typically see these different ecosystems be quite isolated because that's been a huge limiting factor. Whereas with Apex, what we thought was, well, why would we have that as the option? Why don't we instead make it so it's cross collateral? You just deposit USDT on the platform and then simply just paste the contract address and you're good to go. Whether that's on currently we've got BNB, Base, Solana, and ETH, which is covering most of the liquidity in the market at the moment.
Yeah, no, it really is a great feature. And a lot of people that haven't traded on both really, I think, have trouble understanding kind of how siloed each. It's two completely different ecosystems, and EVM, you have all the layer twos, and they're all kind of in that silo, and then you've got the Solana ecosystem. So bridging those is really it's an important thing, and having to bridge, literally, have to bridge, whether that be through roll ups or some of the more centralized bridges, is never a really user-friendly experience. Um, I think this might be one of your team members. So yeah, just being able to
And
do that.
costly too. And
Yeah,
costly too
very
a lot of the
costly.
time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, very much. Especially if you try to do it in a non-custodial way, if you're using, um, well, a lot of them are getting better, but back in the day with Wormhole and signing 20 transactions, and it was just and then worrying if it was actually filled. Not having to do that is great. And it wasn't around when I was really trading actively on EVMs, but I'm very glad that your team was able to create that, because it is important. Okay. Hopefully these are your team members and not random trolls, but we'll find out soon. Um, so yeah, if anyone else wants to come up from the Apex team, I saw that the Apex account was attempting to come on stage, and it looks like had a little bit of
Yeah, I think
trouble.
we've got in there. We've got Apex, obviously the main page. We've
Hmm.
got Boys Minem, which is
Yep,
Hamza, part of our
of
team, part
course.
of our marketing team. And yeah, that's all I can see in there at the moment. But no, it's
Okay.
really exciting, and yeah, really exciting times. Obviously, the market's not in an ideal condition right now, but I think, at least from my perspective, I've not got a crystal ball, but still very bullish. And
Guys, hey, I am up now. Hi, how are you?
hello, Mia.
This is Mariam. I've been speaking with you guys from.
Oh, she got muted.
I'm sorry, that was my fault.
That's all right.
Hi
I thought she
Miriam,
was
how
quite
are you?
far.
Hi, good. Yeah, so it's me and Aaron and Voice Minimum from Apex. The rest of the guys are not our team members, but I'm sure they're community members curious to ask any questions. So yeah, just wanted
Cool.
to clarify that. Just saying hi a bit late, but great to be here. Great to be working with you guys. So yeah, I'll just let you guys kind of go ahead and chime in if there are anything I want to share on top of what you guys are discussing.
Okay, great. No, I'm glad to have you here, and been looking forward to this. Like I said, this mission, a lot of the music generation and the AI kind of can be a little distracting from really what brought us to crypto in the first place, especially with all the noise these days. It was self-empowerment, self-sovereignty, having some agency over one's life. So being able to bridge the gap and trade and actually own one's funds and not have to worry about Sam Bankman-Fried, taking off or anything like that, because your funds are actually held in a smart contract that's audited and transparent. That's a really great thing, and it's I'm glad that it's been built, and that's one of the reasons why we were so apt to work. And plus, Boyce Manem is a longtime friend, so. But we're very excited about this partnership. I don't know if there's anything else that you wanted to mention regarding the exchange.
Yeah, we can talk about things like the airdrop. I guess I kind of will do this
Mm,
at the end, so it's fresh in everybody's memories. One thing that I was talking about there was kind of like market conditions. It would be interesting to have a conversation about that, and
hmm
also a pivot into a question for you guys as well. Is something like, uh, long story short, without giving the whole life background. Before crypto, I was quite heavily involved in the music industry, doing production
mm,
and touring. So big part of my life, still now to a point, but much more in the past. I think with the market conditions we've got, the biggest fear now around trading and exchanges is like there's a lot of people saying on Twitter like it's over. I think, as I steal this quote, and I'm sure we've all heard it before, but when in doubt, zoom out on the charts. And I think that if we look at it sensibly, things aren't over. But one question for you that I'm wondering if it might be over is music production for real life, let's call it, for non-AI, for real person music production, is it just over?
That's a
Because
very valid
it's
question.
so good. It's so
No.
good. Like the first obvious thing, let's say 5 years ago when somebody said this, you would be like, yeah, cool. I remember the first thing that came around was, you remember when you could start mastering by AI, right? You could start
Mhm.
doing mix downs of mastering. And, okay, cool, but it was terrible, right? It
Yep.
was terrible for the most part. So it was like, fine, if you want to just put something on SoundCloud and have it sound a little bit better. But in the grand scheme of like, you're never going to go release that to an album, or definitely not release it on record, because it's going to be horrible. But with the production, I mean, I probably first discovered it, got into it maybe a year, just over a year ago, properly using some of the tools. And I was like, within, I think, 12 hours, I was like, oh, it's over. This is
No,
over for me. It's so
it,
good.
yeah, no, it is it is mind blowing, and anybody that's used it, and that's why we've really floated the cost to try and get people to try it so they can see just like the advances that it's made. I mean, in the matter of 2 minutes, you have a song that sounds better than most in the top 10, to be quite honest. And it's really unique how specific it can get as far as like if you give it lyrics. One instance I like to tell is someone had made a song and they put used piano and violins, but they had put it in the part that's typically for the instrumentation to use, not the lyrics, or the other way around. I'm sorry. And the agent wasn't sure if she had wanted to use pianos or wanted it in the lyrics, so it did both. And the way that it incorporates some like these lyrics as if it's some poet, you can choose the most arbitrary random things and it'll make great lyrics. But regarding the production, I still think a lot of that comes down to personal taste. And even if at most like Rick Rubin, he's a great producer, can't play an instrument, um, can't tell you what he likes, but he knows it when he hears it. And he's created I think Def Jam, a number of huge labels. And yeah, I think it comes down to, that's part of the artistry, is deciding I like the way that this mastering or mixing sounds compared to this one. So, Kanye West alluded to AI being kind of like another tool. Nobody liked samples, nobody liked loops. It's kind of going to be another thing that I think creative people are going to have to lean on. And what I think is really cool about it and can kind of start someone's journey is, we live in the dopamine age. Kids, they are used to hitting a button and automatically being engaged. So trying to teach them music theory or how to apply, parallel compression to a vocal with a side bus, it's a very hard sell. But if they can make a song that's a diss track of their friend who they just, sniped in Fortnite, then it's kind of cool and it's easy. So they, put in the prompt, they get the song, but where it kind of like is a Trojan horse and kind of gets them involved in some of the aspects of music production and even music theory, is they then can take that into a DAW, which we're building out ourselves. So it'll be browser based. So anybody can have a digital audio workstation in their browser without having to worry about hardware requirements. They can bring that song into the DAW and then start tweaking little aspects of it. And if they do a MIDI export, they can play with the notes, they can play with the tempo, they can do whatever they want. So it's kind of like a way to hook them early with the actual song and the fact that they've created their own song, which is exhilarating, and then kind of allowing them to refine it a little bit further. And I think they're going to find a level of engagement that isn't common for them because, video games and stuff like that, they don't really invoke the same, it's a different sort of creativity. So I don't think, production, mixing, mastering, I don't think it's over. I don't think we're so back, but it's definitely not so over. I think it's going to be another tool and it's going to come down to personal taste And the same way, I choose to play a pentatonic scale over a mixolydian on the guitar, someone's going to choose maybe a more mid-heavy mix versus something that's real, heavy in the bass or something like that. So I think it'll be another tool, and it'll be refined, and it'll allow a lot of people to get into music with a lower barrier to entry. So that's what I think is pretty exciting about it. We're going to have a lot more producers, and the quality is going to be very competitive. But I think we're going
Yeah.
to really get some things out of it that are pretty incredible.
Yeah, when you mentioned that about the standard, like I think that's kind of my thoughts on it. That it will be, as you said, a similar tool to things like loops and like plugins, and now you've got, for example, I remember getting years ago the what's it called, the Native Instruments keyboard, right? That has the
Oh yeah,
setting on it, the setting on it where you can make sure you can set the key right, and it's physically impossible for you to play a chord that isn't in that key. So it's like, you within 2 hours you're like a master pianist that anybody else can tell. I think it will. I imagine it will be like a standard like that, where now AI level of music will become the baseline standard. And to not sound like AI, which will obviously be the cool thing, right? It's to, I don't sound like I use loops. I don't sound like I use, the basic stock plugins. It will almost become like the new standard of, okay, right, well, now AI can sound like everybody who is, let's say, let's throw an arbitrary number at it, right? Like a 5 or 6 out of 10 producer. You will just sound the same as AI. But the people that are really taking it to the next level, and the people that are really, pushing the boundaries of even where AI hasn't gone yet, because AI can only be taught by the standards that have been set, right? It has to have some baseline to go from. That these will be the people that stand out, and then that will be the new level to aspire to. But the crazy thing about music, though, in general, especially now that it's, I say now that it's like electronic based, right? It's been for however many years. With it being on the grid in a door, it's like it's not very nuanced, is it? Like it is all. It's a bit, again, I'm not a coder, but it is a little bit like 1 + 2 = 3. It's very formulaic. That's the word I'm looking for. It's extremely formulaic to the point that it's actually perfect for an AI to learn, um, rather than it being this incredibly nuanced thing that it's got to then like take on board. And I have to understand this. It is very, because think about anybody that knows that's produced. Once you start mixing something down, it goes almost, yes, there is some level of creativity to it, fine, but you typically compress a vocal how you compress a vocal. You sidechain compress a kick to a sub the same way. You have a formula that you go through in your own thing. So anything that is formula based like that, it's so it's so perfectly aligned with what an AI wants to do. And in some ways, you can argue once it knows the formula, once it knows everybody's formula with things like that, it will be always pushing the boundary of what of the standard people expect of producers. So yeah, you're right. Taking on board what you said, it's scary. It's definitely not over, but um, I think, okay, here's a better way. I think it's over if you're not willing to now take things to the next level. You're just AI. You may as well be AI, right? Uh,
yeah. And that's the point, because I saw this happening with artists that were just being leapfrogged, and the studios were using AI. So, when I launched this, I called it the most un-AI AI. Really, it's there so the artists can have their own model that the studios are forced to use, and the artists can have some direction over it, and which is what AI agents allow. And they can, not only get paid royalties in perpetuity after they pass to their estate, but they also can make sure that it aligns with their vision, and they can be involved with the fine tuning of it. So, yeah, there's a lot of people that are going to be put off by it at first, of course, but also there's a lot of people that the solution like Suede is going to allow them to get involved in something that would normally just pass right by them. So there's a lot of other benefits, but I think ultimately it's there to mitigate a lot of the artist neglect that's likely to continue to happen. So
yeah,
that's our
exactly. And
mission.
And it's amazing, like having projects like Suede that are embracing it, because
Mm,
I'm kind of fortunate in like I'm 32, right? So I also have a younger brother who's like nearly 17.
mhm.
So having that, like, there's like two whole generations of, like, I get to see what kids are into, right? Because once you're like 25, 30, you're not exposed to any of that stuff. You don't know what the younger culture is of like high schoolers, and they are ultimately the people that make culture. They're the people that make the memes that we see on Solana. Like, we think it's us, but it's not. It's like, the amount of stuff he's like talking about, like chop chin and, lock in, and oh, this guy's got aura. It's like and I'm
Yeah.
like, it's hilarious when I hear him say it, and then I'm like, oh, that's a meme and I'm like, no, of course, that's where it comes from. It's just 16, 17-year-olds typically don't have the money to be creating coins and, running communities, because they've got things like school and a life still. um, but it was interesting because he's, very much getting into music production and talking, and he's much more from the he's like likes hip hop, he likes doing vocals and this kind of thing. And it was interesting that he still was drawn to Fruity Loops, and I'm like, why don't you get them Ableton or something new, right, for a door? Like, it's funny that you go, because it's known for anyone that's been in there a while. It's good, but it's a very limited platform. It's made to be simple, and that is it. He is the TikTok generation. He does, like, I don't care what Ableton does. He's like Logic. He's like Logic. He's like, that's like some. You think he literally called it? It was like some unk tech. And I was like, right, okay. And he's like, there's no way on earth I'm using that. I just took one look at it, and then he was like, Ableton. I'm like, yeah, but it can do blah blah blah. He's like, I don't care. I want to click the button and I want it to work. And that's so, why
Yep.
should he not expect that? It's 2025, and now being able to use AI tools like Suede, and it will just be the perfect product fit for people where they didn't come from the, oh, well, you need to know this and you should learn the blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. Does it sound good? Does it
Right.
sound good? Does it work? And you also see that again, like, I could yap on about this forever, but it's like interesting with music genres. You see, like, especially when I was growing up, I was really into like drum and bass, um, techno, different types of house music. And it was like, well, house music is not house music. There's deep house, there's funky house, there's bass. There was all these things. And actually, I've taken him to like parties that he's had at school. Um, when I was back at home for Christmas, seeing the family, he had like friends round, and I heard them talking, and they actually had no. And again, I'm obviously generalizing a small group of people that age to extrapolating it to a whole assumption, but it was interesting to me how they did not care what the music genre was. They didn't even know. Like, he was showing me
Mm,
a song, I was like, oh, that's drum. No way you like drum and bass. He's like, oh, I don't know. I just heard it on Spotify. And I was like, wow, okay, yeah, that's interesting, because for me, it would be like, this is this, this is this. And they're like, I don't care. If it sounds good, it sounds good. And I'm
yep.
like, yeah, that is, maybe it's a change of the meta, but, that is so bullish alongside
Yeah.
tools like
Yeah.
this, because it's exactly that product fit. We don't care. We just
Mhm.
want it to be good.
Yep.
We don't care
Yep.
how you do it. You have full freedom over what the genre is, what you're doing, how you're going to do it. Just make it sound good.
Yeah. And, interestingly enough, constraints are often, the best tool for creativity. The hardest
Hmm.
thing to look at is a blank page. It's overwhelming. So when you have like a simple platform like a Fruity Loops, you have limited options, and that almost can be a facilitator for creativity. So no, I think we are very much aligned, and kind of the stars aligned to, for everything to come together to allow this to happen. So, yeah, we're very, very bullish as well. Actually, I know you're talking price action, and I mentioned this before you came on. We actually made an all-time high today
Amazing.
against Solana. So, yeah, no, and we're on Solana, so it's that's our pairing. So we're very much affected by the price of it, but I think ultimately there's a lot of projects that don't have a product, don't have a actual intrinsic ability to value a coin. Whereas if you have royalties that are due a certain coin, like that's almost giving it earnings per coin, similar to like an equity. So yeah, I think really everything's kind of aligned with the technology, with the age to allow this to happen. So we're super excited, and we're excited to be on Apex. Do you want to explain a little bit kind of how the swaps work on Apex,
Yeah,
or do you think this
absolutely.
is a bit
So
technical? Okay.
yeah, no. I mean, so we use different aggregators. Um, some are Uniswap. There's a few others that the team use to basically. We'll use a number of different swaps to just find out at the time what's the cheapest, what's the fastest for you, right? Which has the most liquidity. So from your point of view, it's super simple. Again, let's say you were trading on, let's say you had ETH memes as well, or let's say you buy some BNB tokens on spot. You'll just open up Apex. Obviously, we have the two sides. There's perps and spots. Go on your spots. You just deposit USDT and can trade anything. So unlike, let's say, if you're using, if it's Solana, let's say you're using Photon or you're using BullX or just Phantom or Axiom, whatever it might be. Just a case of simply using USDT. You can then transfer that across to your perp account, to your spot account, to different chains, and all you've got to do is just copy the CA. Obviously, always due diligence. Make sure that you're putting the right one in, because no doubt there's plenty of copycats of Suede, because there's copycats of any good token. And yeah, just put the CA in, and you're ready to go. It's really that simple.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Maybe I can chime in for a little bit, because we are just launching a campaign with you guys. So maybe it's a great opportunity for us to go ahead and share a bit more about what is the campaign about, how it works, how users can jump in on, because we literally just pushed it live, and anyone who's tuning in right now can make their way to Apex and start participating. What do you think? Shall we break it down and explain a bit more about it?
Let's
Yeah,
do it.
please do, Mario.
I think we're here for the
Um,
Lambos.
Sounds
People
good.
heard Red
Let's do
Lambo.
it. Guys, it's super simple. Essentially, it consists of two parts. Obviously, we have a huge prize pool coming all the way from Suede team. Suede team allocated more than 400,000 Suede tokens for this challenge, and on our end, we allocated some mystery boxes, up to 300 mystery boxes for the participants. Essentially, I mean, you already know why you might want to have Suede in your wallet, but let me explain a bit more about the mystery boxes. Essentially, on APATs, we have mystery boxes that have rewards. Like, there are no mystery boxes that you open that do not contain any sort of rewards. These rewards can span from USDT bonuses to some airdrop. We also have some real world rewards, such as iPhone, Apple Vision Pro, etc. So with our allocation of 300 mystery boxes, you kind of get the chance to stand a chance to score one of those rewards. But to kind of get a bit of a overview of the way the campaign is set up. So we have the new user airdrop. So essentially, new users who sign up using Suade's link on Apex Omni and make a deposit of $100, they can receive 700 Suede as well as an epic mystery box on Apex. And the second part of the campaign is about trading competition. We extensively talked about Omni Spot Swap. Essentially, on Omni Spot Swap, all you need is to have some USDT deposited on Apex Omni, and using the USDT, you can swap any tokens using the contract address. Essentially, for this competition to qualify for extra rewards, and climb the leaderboard, and get some bigger allocation of Suede, all you need to do is to trade Suede on Apex Omni Spot Swap, and then you will be ranked according to your trading volume. So top 10 participants with the highest trading volume will be receiving Suede airdrop between 50,000 and 1,000 Suede tokens. But what's more, if you are not in top 10, but you still traded more than 1,000 volume, $1,000 volume worth of Suede, you will be sharing an extra side prize pool of 35,000 Suede. So essentially, like, there is reward for everyone. You just deposit, you get reward. You trade, you get the reward. If you're not in top 10 on the leaderboard, you still get a reward. So yeah, the campaign information can be found on our official blog, and the announcement event on our official page on Twitter will also be shortly going out. Do make sure to use Suede's special link in order to qualify for the campaign. And the special link by Suede can be found on our blog. The links are provided there. So make sure you go over the blog. It's super short and just follow the rules as outlined there to make sure you qualify for the rewards. But yeah, that's the campaign that we are adding to our big list of the ongoing campaigns that we are currently having on Apex. So Suede fans, come over, trade, and get your airdrop. I know Aaron mentioned in the beginning of the AMA, so let me elaborate a bit more. So currently we are also running the 25 million Apex airdrop campaign, which will unlock in a couple of months in July. On July 13th, the 25 million Apex will unlock. Anyone who has traded on Apex, either our perpetual markets or our spot market, will simply qualify for the XP points that they can convert to our Apex airdrop. And you guys will agree 25 million Apex is quite a sum. And it's only the beginning because, as we announced in our roadmap for 2025, we are allocating our entire treasury, which consists of 175 million Apex, to the community building activities. So this 25 million is just the first part of the 175 million Apex that we will be distributing to our community members who use the platform and trade on spot and perpetual platforms. So essentially, by joining our campaign with Suede, you will be not only getting Suede airdrop, but you will be also getting points that will qualify you for Apex airdrop coming on July 13th. So yeah, I think I gave you all the reasons to join our campaign and get started. If there are any questions, I'm happy to respond. Let's hear it from you guys if there's anything.
Yeah, great. And,
Yeah,
and while we're waiting for questions as well, yeah, I'll just elaborate on that. If you are trading and you are, again, whether it's Suede, whether it's perpetuals, whether it's anything, really taking advantage of this time on Apex trading is going to be very fruitful for you. So we've got 25 million Apex tokens, like Mariam said, which even after this horrible market capitulation we've seen is still trading at over $1. So even right now in this horrible market, I mean, to be honest, Suede is the only thing doing well that I've seen right now. In this horrible market, we're still trading at $1, and there's $25 million as it stands for users, just for trading. So again, whether you come and you do perps, whether you come and you do spots, whether you think, you know what, I'm not so confident on trading, but I like some of the top traders that are on Apex, and you want to contribute to their vaults, which is basically like copy trading. You put the money in the vaults, they do the trading, you get some of the rewards. No matter what it is, however you interact with the platform, you're going to get your XP rewards. And then how much XP you get will be how much you can convert into the Apex tokens. So yeah, definitely a huge thing to take advantage of. And yeah, like Mariam says, if anybody's got any questions or anything, whether it's now or whether it's, in 2 hours time, you think you want to know something, we're obviously available here, and later on we'll be available on Telegram, Discord, whenever it is. Yeah, don't be shy.
no, great, great. Yeah. And the other thing that we were really specific about and that I think is awesome is all new users are going to get I want to say it's 7,000 Suede just for entering. So the trading competition, that's secondary. You're going to get both. So if you're a new user, you sign up with the link, you're going to get that airdrop of Suede, and then also you can do the trading competition as well. So really, there's a fit for everyone. But yeah, if you want to take a few questions, I'll let you pick who you want to bring up because I know a lot of the community, so I'm a little biased. But yeah, we're able to take some questions now if anyone has any.
Sure, sure. I mean, I'm assuming that the request to speak are the questions, so I guess I'll just start with
Yeah.
one by one. Yeah, Spartan, ask away. I think maybe some of these were from before as well, so maybe there isn't a question. They just wanted to speak earlier. But yeah, feel free to say something or ask a question if you want. All is good. Oh, we
We
got
can
boys.
bring,
We
yeah,
got
that's what I was
boys.
gonna say.
Boys, are you there? But we've got bullish pizza. I mean, I feel like we have to get that. That is a bullish
Hello.
name. I think bullish pizza has to come
Can
up.
you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hey, Aaron. Hey, John.
Hey,
I don't know why my spaces are bugged. Was trying to get on before, but it's okay. You can proceed with the questions.
Yeah, so I think Spartan's got a question, hasn't he? Do you want to go? I think you were first. I think you can just.
How can
Yeah, there you go. You should be able to.
an Apex protocol automate the distribution of music royalties and license fee, ensuring timely and transparent payments to creators and the right holders? And what are the considerations for handling complex royalty splits?
a great question, and that's what smart contracts are really good at doing is typically where there would be 20, 30 accountants required to determine who's owed what. Smart contracts just stream in real time, so there's no accumulation of funds that need to be diverted later. Smart contracts in real time just basically act as funnels, allowing all of that bookkeeping to happen in a programmatic manner. So that is a great question, and that's one of the great elements of blockchain.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bullish pizza. You got to bring bullish
Hello,
pizza.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. For new user unfamiliar with DeFi, what's one standout feature of Apex Pro that you think will convince them to choose your platform over a traditional SEX?
True. Yeah, good question. I think. I mean, I'm always biased because I like the gamification. I think we can probably do some. I will say one, and boys M&M can share. And boys, I always want to call you boys M&M. Every time I've seen the thing, and maybe Mariam can share some as well. For me, I always like the gamification of things. So for me, it's the social points. Like I love a platform where you are just gaining something while you're doing it. Especially as a kid, I like video games. I like the building towards something. So now you've got the two sides. One, just trading in general, and taking part every day. You get your social points. These social points, I mean, you'll see this as well if you've not already integrated with the Suede competition we've got on. You can then trade these points for mystery boxes, and they've got loads of things in them. They've got USDT, they've got meme coins, there's iPhones, I think there's PS5s as well, and then the big grand prize is a Lamborghini. So I think it's 8 or 10 fragments that you collect, and when you get the 10th one, you got the Lamborghini. And I think I've got 8 right now, so I know I won't be allowed to win it. So somebody else needs to start collecting these fragments. But for me, it's that. And then now, obviously, the airdrop that we mentioned as well. It's like double gamification points. So yeah, for me, it's really that's one thing that I find the most interesting about the platform. What about you, boys?
Okay, thank you.
For me, for me, it's always been the features of a centralized exchange, but the security of decentralized exchange, because like I like my funds. I don't want to lose them again like FTX. So Apex, like the way Apex works is like we always try to bring all the good features which are on centralized exchanges like speed, accessibility, good UX, and then we have this secure layer for your funds where we don't control your funds. So even like if for some reason Apex is not accessible, a user can always like retrieve their funds because Apex does not control user funds. So it's always been for me like that. And like we have access to a lot of terminals like the like industry leading terminals like Real Street and other partners. and we have a lot of upcoming partnerships as well. So there will be a perfect suite of decentralized trading which has centralized trading like features, because if you use other dexes you can see the UX, the user experience is not that good. But with Apex you will always find like we have an app, we have a dedicated team design like for the application and for the website, and we have third party terminals which you can trade on. You can use bots, you can have grid bots with negative maker fees, and like the list goes on and on. So yeah, that's it for me. I can talk about Apex for hours to be honest, but I don't want to bore all of you guys.
No, those are great points for sure.
Okay, thank you.
So who else? Who else have we got next? We have Bullish Pizza was up. Let's see. We've got Professor Marty. Getting so many notifications. Professor Marty, you want to speak? Okay, give it a few seconds. Next in the list is Sarah Serene 0399. You're up. You want to speak?
Yeah, hello, I'm audible.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, so I wanted to know from Sweden, do you have an ambassadors program?
So yeah, we have currently, are you referring to like influencers and KOLs?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have we are pretty stacked when it comes to that. So we have partnerships with Jeremy BTC, Fiddy.eth, Block, as Mario Nawfal, a lot, and the best. So yeah, we're very much aligned with a lot of participants that are, I think, pretty discerning when it comes to what projects they're willing to work with. So does anyone else have any other questions? I'm sorry.
We've got Space Jam. Are you here? I guess not. Next up, Link. How you say? You're up. LYNC.
Hi everyone.
Hey.
Hello. Space Jam. Hello.
Yeah, thank you so much for bringing me up. So my question to Suede is how do you handle copyright infringements?
That's a great question. So when it comes to protecting your music, that's going to be handled the same way that it would. We offer all the traditionally, we offer all the same resources that a record label would. Um, Probably more because most record labels, unless you're Selena Gomez, aren't going to pay you much mind. But so we have an algorithm that ensures that everybody's music is protected. That implementation is still being built out. But what's nice is, when you actually own the music that you have, no claims can be made against it. If they are, you can fight it. And actually, our plan is to we have a creator fund, also build a legal defense fund. So if somebody were to try to infringe on your music, they wouldn't have the ability to. We've got a legal opinion, which is on our website. But yeah, the enforcement of it is something that we definitely, look forward to making sure that everybody, gets the royalties for whatever they create. That was a really good question.
Thank you so much. That was so direct. Thank you. All the best
Thank
with
you.
the project.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we've got a few more. Should we just fire through these? So Ben, I think you're up next. Oh, I think there was also Link, wasn't there? I mean, I'm just firing through questions here, Mr. Suede. So yeah, if you've got a particular time frame that you need to wrap it up in, then just let me know. But other than that, I can just keep asking you for questions. So wait, Link, do you want to go? I know you've got your hand up. You came up as a speaker.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much. So my question It's an Apex Pro, so I just want to know about the fees associated with using Apex Pro. Then how does your affiliate program work? Do you give points for users who refer others to the platform?
Yeah, so you've got 0.02 for your maker fees, 0.05 for your taker fees. Pretty straightforward, very low fees. And the second part of the question was about just my connection is a bit bad. You said about the referral program, is that right?
Yeah, affiliates. Do you have affiliates where users get in points by referring others to the platform?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have the affiliate program, so you can sign up as a request. I'll make a note actually to send you to post the information afterwards. So you can make an application on our page to be an affiliate, and then yeah, you'll sign up. You'll get your dashboard. If you've been an affiliate on an exchange before, you'll be very familiar with it. You can track trading volume, people that have signed up, etc. And yeah, you can share your link, and people that sign up, you'll get paid commission for their trades and for kind of all the activity you do. Good question about the earning points for the XP. I know it's linked in with the social points. I'll check, boys. What is the latest on how the XP is calculated? Because I'm not sure what. There's some things that we're working on. I'm not sure what we're allowed to announce right now. That's what I'm making sure that I don't. I don't let any surprises
I'll
slip
start with
past.
the affiliate section. Suede is now our affiliate, so anyone who will be joining through the Suede link will get 5% discount on fees. And regarding the XP points, the point formula is not public, but like I can give you some hints. Like the more you trade, the more website features you use, the more XP you get. So like we haven't disclosed our particular like XP calculation formula because we don't want people to gamify it. So it would be better distribution for XP. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, very good, very good. So yeah, if you are looking to again join, definitely do it through Suede and get all those bonuses. So who was next? Was it? I think it was it Ben? Possibly it was Ben. I think.
Yeah, hello, am I audible?
Yeah, I can
Yep.
hear you.
All right, thank you very much. I just want to know, like, given the potential for the high frequency transactions in the decentralized music economy, like, how will Apex protocol, like, layer 2 scaling solution ensure efficiency and low cost? And what are the plans to improve scalability?
That's a great question, and I'm glad you asked that. We've actually partnered with Layer Zero as well, which we're going to be rolling out that information for with Apex, which is really exciting, so that we will have the ability to be, fully EVM as well, first on base. But one of the great features about Solana and what really moved us to Solana in the first place was the ability to have that sort of TPS and scalability on an L1, which allows us to mint not only CNFTs, so people can, secure their music on an immutable blockchain for less than a penny. They also can make dynamic NFTs, which is really cool for collaboration. So someone can mint an NFT, give someone permission to open that NFT with their private key, and they can then, modify it. Say they're a percussion specialist, they can actually collaborate with you on that piece and then close the NFT back up. And that is something that if we tried to do even 2 years ago would have cost thousands of dollars in gas that we now can do for less than a penny. So yeah, scalability is one thing that fortunately we stand on the shoulders of giants, and there's been some really great development that's happened in the space, and fortunately we get to be the benefactors of that. And yeah, we are at the technology is at a point where really we don't run into those issues at all, which is great.
All right, thank you very much. Success to your team.
Thank you. Maybe we'll take, what do you think, two more?
Sounds good to me. Yeah.
All
Who's
right.
next? Who was next? So we've got Zuma and we've got Hunter X. I'll bring both you guys up as the final questions. So Zuma, you want to go? Okay, maybe Zoom is AFK. So Hunter, you wanna come up? Wait, I think I just gave you. Did I not? I think it
Zoom,
takes a second of delay, doesn't it, before it comes up?
yeah, and
Oh yeah.
Zuma, I think you're muted. There you go.
Flapex protocol platform supports the creation of decentralized investment funds that are specialized in AI-generated music assets. And how will these funds leverage AI for market analysis and portfolio management? And how will those funds be regulated?
So,
I'm sorry, say that.
yeah, would you repeat the question? Sorry, the connection is not great.
Could Apex Protocols platform support the creation of decentralized investment funds that are specialized in AI-generated music assets? And how will these funds leverage AI for market analysis and portfolio management? And how will those funds be regulated?
You might be, yeah. Is that a question? The closest thing I can think of to that is we have the creator fund. So, our governance token, you'll have the ability to vote on who you want to direct money to. That's an artist for a grant to build things with Suede, but I think that's about as close as we get to what you're describing.
Yeah, I think the beauty with decentralized stuff is when the question is, can you do it? The answer's normally, yeah, probably. It's just a case of whether
Yeah.
there's a market fit or whether there's the desire from a monetary standpoint. But for the most part now, anything to do with AI and decentralized, yeah, sure, probably. If there's a market fit and a market need,
Yeah.
there's not too many things that can't be catered for. But yeah, nice. And who was it who said last? So it was Hunter, right? Hunter for the final question. I think you're up now.
Okay, I thank you for this opportunity. I want to know what inspired the creation of Apex.
So I mean, who's great to answer this question is Marion, because she was here right at the very start. But to give you a little bit of the background of Apex in itself was really to what Boys was mentioning about before. It was to bring to the market a tool that is going to have the familiarity of a centralized exchange, but allow you to obviously keep control of your own funds and have that self-custody. A lot of the founding team were at Bybit. So one of the big questions is like, how did this product kind of come out of nowhere and be so well put together? And it's kind of a bit self-glazing, right? But I wasn't part of the founding team. I joined shortly after. A big question was kind of how did these guys just sort of appear out of nowhere? It's got kind of like a, if a celebrity did this, I'm always a bit like, oh, they're an industry plant. We had like a very industry plant vibe about us because there was this platform that kind of came out of nowhere and had all of this infrastructure and everything built and everything working. It was like, wow, okay, well, how does this just appear out of nowhere? Well, a lot of the founding team were from Bybit and had experience there. So they came from the centralized exchange side of things with obviously, market leading experience in that side and trying to bring that to a decentralized manner. How can people have order books? How can people have X, Y, and Z, a classic centralized exchange experience, but target this for the decentralized market? So that's kind of a very brief overview of how it came about, and yeah, that's really our main focus now, as Boy said before, is just trying to build out that classic experience and deliver it for a decentralized audience. Because I think one of the big, to elaborate on that a little bit more, one of the big things we've all heard the phrase a million times about bridging the gap between Web 2 and Web 3. I think there's also a big part of it that needs to be a gap bridging between your centralized exchange users and your decentralized exchange users. A lot of people that are newer to crypto, or a lot of people that want to get on board, like your Web 2 people that want to kind of put their foot in the water, they'll want the best of both worlds. They want the self-custody and the individualization of being able to hold their own tokens and have self-custody over everything. But then also it's kind of scary, right? Because at least with a centralized exchange, there is also that, well, if I lose access, I can get back in with my phone number. If I lose access, well, they're technically holding my funds. So if I have an email recovery or whatever it may be, depending on the platform, I can get back in. There's always that sense of security. Whereas, yeah, with the decentralized one, because it's your MetaMask or your Bybit wallet or whatever it might be, your Coinbase wallet, if you lose access to that wallet, you do lose access to your funds. So there's that kind of scary big leap that people have to take. And I always think of them very much, in my experience as someone who, is involved in this every day and has experience, I always think of the centralized exchange typical as how you would think of your bank. I use it for on-ramping, off-ramping. I like very much things like debit card facilities, which, obviously all these things need KYC, right? So I think of that as there. And then if I'm trading or doing anything financial, DeFi, of course, I will use things like Apex. I will use something decentralized because that is just what makes sense. However, for somebody new and somebody getting into it, it can be very scary. It can be very intimidating. And a lot of DEXs, people just take one look at it and go, well, this is too complicated. I'm not sure whether I want to do this or not. And that's really where we step in to try and bridge that gap and be the purpose-built tool that gives you everything that you get on a SEX, but does it in a way where you still feel safe.
That's great. I love it. And it's a long time coming because, DEXs are definitely a superior experience. It's just been a matter of UI, and I think you guys have nailed it. So great job.
Yeah,
But
thank you.
otherwise, no, I think this is, was certainly exciting. These are wild times, but, if being in this market for as long as I have has taught me anything, this really is the moment of peak opportunity. So, those that are here now in the space when the sentiment isn't exactly, the tip top, that's when typically from what I've seen, not financial advice, but that's been every time that has turned out to be, truly, move the needle in the trajectory of my life. So, yeah, I would definitely recommend everyone to stick around, learn all you can, do your research, get involved in, opportunities that you deem fit. And otherwise, I'm just glad to see that, we still have, at least 33 plus people that are, still in it and aware of where we're headed. So that's encouraging.
Exactly. And up only season soon as well.
Yeah.
For me now, I've been trading Solana meme coins for the past God knows how long. My mental is unbreakable now. Bitcoin could go to 25K and I'll still be here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
God, please, folks,
100%.
touching wood, please don't. But
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I've been rocked so many times on Solana, my mental is unbreakable.
Oh yeah, yeah. No kidding.
But
But
on that last note, I will say that is also what I think is super bullish about projects like this. We've had the
yeah,
Rug Bonanza, we've had the BS Casino, and now I think, in my personal opinion, as someone who is, would say is very well versed in Solana, aka I've lost loads of money. This is where we're going to see the liquidity flow now. People are done with the high level gambling. There's always going to be the casino element. People are always going to want to gamble, but people have been stung too many times now. And the Solana meme coins that are going to grow and are going to be here for the long term and are going to push are going to be things like Suede, people with actual community, people building something that is real, people having a token that actually does something, and not these one-day pump and dumps. Like, I think that meta is over. Again, it will still be there, but it's going to be projects like Suede that really thrive in this market, in my opinion.
I appreciate that. We definitely agree, and it's an exciting time. We look forward to it, and I really appreciate you coming out and everyone being here with us. If you have any questions, just jump in our Telegram. We've got a number of people that are very passionate, always willing to help, and I'm sure the same is for Apex as well. But we really appreciate everyone coming out, and look forward to seeing you in the campaign. All right, guys, have a great day.
See you guys. Thanks, everybody.
See you guys. Bye bye.
Bye.